We will stop overseas care workers from bringing family dependents, and we will require care firms in England to be regulated by the Care Quality Commission.
Guys, things are getting out of hand. In fact, things have gotten out of hand. I never, ever thought this could ever happen, but it looks like I've been underestimating the UK government. Really? No more dependent for health and care workers? Wow. Anyway, here are the details. So guys, you all know that the UK government has been planning on reducing both legal and illegal migration, for a while now. So with illegal migration, they're planning on stopping the boats, that those who are coming to the UK through the islands on boats, they're trying on stopping them completely. And then those who are seeking asylum, they're planning on taking them to Rwanda. And then, however, that particular plan was ruled as unlawful in the Supreme Court. So they're still trying to find a way around it so that they can still send asylum seekers to Rwanda instead of keeping them here, right? And then when it comes to legal migration, one of the ways that they plan to do that was to stop people who are coming as students from bringing their dependents. Okay, so from 1st January of 2024, if you're coming to the UK, you can no longer bring your partner or you can no longer bring your kids as you used to, unless you're coming to do a PhD program or a research program, blah, blah, blah. And now, as part of the ways to reduce legal migration, they've introduced what we call a 5-point plan, which they shared in Parliament today. So initially, there were rumors that was going to happen. But by yesterday, this was stated by the Home Secretary in Parliament. Okay, guys, listen to this for yourself. The 5-point plan, for them to listen for yourself. And after each point, I'll explain, okay? For those who are still confused, I'm going to explain. So this is the first point.
The first of our 5 points will be to end the abuse of the health and care visa. We will stop overseas care workers from bringing family dependents, and we will require care firms in England to be regulated by the Care Quality Commission in order for them to sponsor visas. Approximately 120,000 dependents accompanied 100,000 care workers and senior care workers in the year ending September 2023. Only 25% of dependents are estimated to be in work, meaning a significant number are drawing on public services rather than helping to grow the economy. We recognise that foreign workers do great work.
They don't understand. Honestly, they don't understand. So what the new Home Secretary is saying is that they are going to let the Care Quality Commission, that's the CQC, to now regulate sponsorships for those who are trying to get certificates of sponsorship to come to the UK. Now it will be regulated by the CQC because obviously there have been rumors that this is being abused where people are selling certificates of sponsorship. We all know that. We all know that. In fact, there's been documentaries about this on Sky News and other UK news platforms. Okay, so it's not me saying it. This is very, very known already because I realized that the last time I mentioned this, somebody was like, why am I saying it? They know already, okay? Now they want CQC to monitor this whole thing. That is fine. No issues with that. But for you to say that you're stopping care workers or those coming on a health and care worker visa so that they cannot bring their dependents, that is absurd. Honestly. Imagine me. I come here, let's say straight from university, and I've been dating, let's say 4 years in my country, and I come here, I'm planning that, when I come, I'll go bring my partner. Now I can no longer bring my partner. Because? So, I signed a contract for 3 years. I'm supposed to be here without getting married to the love of my life. Or even if I should get married, my partner should still stay there. Aside partners, children. Most people are here. In fact, I've spoken to so many nurses, so many care workers who are in the UK, not because they really want to, but they are here because they think that it's good or it's the best environment for their kids. Some people are sacrificing to be in the UK in this weather and all these rules because of their kids, because they want their kids to enjoy this free education. People say is a good, this good education in here. And probably by the time they get to the university, they would have gotten their citizenship here. Okay. And then a British passport, we all know, can take you around the world, take you to most places around the world without needing a visa. And also that having UK education on your CV, they believe is good for their kids and good for their kids' future. That is why they are bringing their kids here. So for you to say that I should just come and work, stress myself, but my partner and my kids cannot enjoy all these benefits that they should be able to enjoy, cannot enjoy it anymore. Is this fair? Do they think they could have told us this during COVID? They could not have. They were so amazed when Boris got COVID in his hospital. The nurses that took care of him were foreigners. So you think that we should come and work, but we cannot bring our partners and our kids? Is that fair? I don't even know where to start. In the UK, most companies will give you 5 weeks of annual leave. And I will leave the rule in my company on the screen. The rule says that you cannot take all 5 weeks at a go. In fact, they are specific. They tell you, take only 2 weeks in the summer. Take only what you cannot take during Christmas. You cannot take during the New Year. You can only take 2 weeks in the summer, and you can take 1 week. So I should come here. You need me, my knowledge, my skills, but you need me, and I am so desperate that I should come and serve the British people, but leave my kids behind and leave my partner behind, and have only 5 weeks in a whole year to see my partner, to see. And all those 5 weeks as well, most companies will say you can't take annual leave altogether. So how do I imagine I have a 1-year-old? Do they know what separation from family does to kids? They know. And I know they should know better. The UK people love family systems. They do. So they know how bad it is to separate a child from the mother, or to separate a child from the father, or to separate a child from their parents. Why then are you saying that I cannot bring my child here? I would have understood if they had said that, well, people are abusing this route, so now there's going to be DNA. Prove that this child is genuinely yours before you are allowed to come. Or prove that this marriage is really genuine. Show us more proofs than the usual marriage certificate or whatever. Show us more than that before you're allowed to come. But to cut it, I mean, come on. Some people are here with 8-month-old babies. Because my country is so bad and I want to leave to a better country, I should leave my 8-month-old baby at home. Do they know how the mental health of kids who will be affected by, do they know what's going to do to these kids' mental health? Do they know what this is going to do to families? Do they know what this could even bring separation? A wife is here, a husband is there, the husband probably will start cheating. Some might start cheating. Do they know this is going to destroy families? This is not fair. And I understand very well that, in fact, I don't know why they are surprised. And the other MP was just shaking his head that from last year, September, to this year, September 2023, about 100,000 healthcare workers have come, but they've been accompanied by over 120,000 dependents. Why is that a surprise? If I'm the main applicant or the principal applicant, I have a partner. Like for me, if I was now coming, I'm married and I have a child. So me alone, I'm bringing 2 people. So obviously, the number of dependents is likely to outnumber the number of main applicants. Is likely to do so. So why is that a surprise? And the fact that they are saying that only 25% of these dependents are working and the rest are bedding into the public fund, that is a big lie. Unless they don't know their own rules. Unless they don't know their own rules. The people that are still at home and are not working, they are probably at home because they are taking care of the kids. They are doing childcare. So one parent has become a stay-at-home mom or dad and taking care of their kids because they cannot afford childcare. Because we as migrants, even as healthcare workers, cannot access public funds and we have no access to free childcare, blah, 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 like the British people. So one parent now has to stay home. And we are not allowed public funds. Do they not know? We are not allowed public funds. See, when I was pregnant, they called me. I think they got my details from my midwife, and then they called me. Right? I didn't call them. They called me that they support women. When I heard support, I said, no, don't support me. Please, I'm not allowed. They said, no, this is not public fund. I said, Sure Start came. They asked us if we needed money. As they said, it's non-governmental, whatever, for gas and oil and whatever. They can give us £80. My husband said, no, we don't want. Even the energy bill where they refunded everybody who lives in the UK, every household, even that, most migrants were afraid to go and collect. So which public fund are they saying that we are collecting and we are burdening on the economy? Unless they don't know the same rules that they've made for us, unless they don't know. We do not access public fund. We do not. We do not. So why are they saying we are burdening? That same main applicant who's working for whichever dependent is in the house, is the main applicant who is feeding the rest of us. We are not a burden. And that main applicant is paying the tax and paying the NI. So what are they talking about? What are they talking about? This is so not fair. This is so not fair. Ha! And I was watching Channel 4 News, right? And then they were talking to the chair of the Health and Social Care Committee, a gentleman called Steve Bryan. And I love what he said. I love what he said. Okay, listen to what he said.
Well, yes, it could. And I mean, I think what will happen is they won't come. And I think that the health and care worker, who would be the one who the government say, well, they'll come anyway, I don't think they'll come. There's a global marketplace. If we don't make it a welcoming environment for them and their important dependents, then maybe they'll just say, we'll go somewhere else. Everywhere I go in the economy, we have a shortage of key people in the key roles. And so take back control? Absolutely. But maybe take back control in our interests, not against our interests.
Steve Bryan.
Exactly. If this is the case, we are going to leave. And the shortage of nurses, the shortage of doctors and everything is going to be worse. The NHS is going to crash. If this is the issue. What? I mean, people are coming here as fake dependents. Why don't you put more checks and make it a bit more stricter to come through than to stop it completely? Why? Because net migration was 745,000, blah, blah, blah. See. Okay. My heart is pounding, God. My heart is pounding. Now, let's listen to the second point.
And health sector. But it is also important that migrants make a big enough financial contribution. Therefore, we will increase annual immigration health surcharge this year by 66%, from £624 to £1,000.
As for the increasing of the immigration health surcharge, we all know, I've done videos about it already. We all know that you're going to increase it. So that's fine. That's fine.
To
Go
raise,
ahead.
on average, around £1.3 billion for the health services of this country every year. Second, we will stop immigration undercutting the salary of British workers. We will increase the skilled worker earnings threshold by a third to 38,700 from next spring, in line with the median full-term wage for those kinds of jobs. Those coming on health and social care visa routes will be exempt, so we can continue to bring in the healthcare workers on which our care sector and NHS rely.
I honestly think this was not well thought. Excuse me, sir, I really love you. I saw him eating Ghana jollof on his Instagram. I fell in love with him immediately when I saw him eating jollof. But honestly, I honestly think this was not well thought of. See, you are saying that for all other skilled workers that are coming into the country, you are increasing the minimum salary threshold. As you all know, to be able to qualify to get a visa, there's a minimum salary threshold. If you're coming as a skilled worker, there's an amount of money you should be earning before you're able to come, right? This amount of money, they usually lower it for skilled workers coming from outside, right? I think it was around 26,000 or just above, a little above £26,000 a year. Now they're increasing it to £38,000 a year. So if the job that you're coming to do is not giving you a minimum of £38,000 a year, then you cannot even come. So now employers will definitely not be able to pay people this amount, so they will not be able to employ foreigners because they have to show on their COS that this is how much you'll be earning. However, health and care worker visa holders are exempt because they desperately need us. For us, we can still be paid lower than that and then we can still come. But coming without our dependents. What does this mean? Jesus! Let's listen to the rest.
Thirdly, we will scrap cut price shortage labour from overseas by ending the 20% going rate salary discount for shortage occupations and reforming the shortage occupation list.
Number 3, I've done a video about this already. I'll leave a link here so you can watch. The Immigration Advisory Committee is an independent body that checks everything that's going on with migration. And then they came out with recommendations that the shortage occupation list should be abolished, right? And here, this man is saying something very similar, saying that they're going to review the shortage occupation lists, okay, and then reduce it, right? Probably they will just leave a few jobs on there or a few occupations on there. And then also maybe they will change the salary thresholds for those jobs as well. So that one, I think we've already already spoken about it on this channel.
I have asked the Migration Advisory Committee to review the occupations on this list because of our new higher skilled worker salary thresholds. And we will create a new immigration salary list with a reduced number of occupations. People only bring dependents who they can support financially. The minimum income requirement of 18,600 has not been increased since 2012. Madam Deputy Speaker, this package of measures will take place from next spring. Finally, having already banned overseas master's students from bringing family members to the UK, I have asked the Migration Advisory Committee to review the graduate route to prevent abuse, to protect the integrity and quality of the UK's outstanding higher education sector. It needs to work in the best interests of the UK, supporting the pathway into high-quality jobs for the global talent pool, but reducing opportunities for abuse. Madam Deputy Speaker, this package of measures, taken in addition with the measures on student dependence that we have already announced in May, means that around 300,000 fewer people will be eligible to come to the UK than were coming last year. This is the largest reduction on record. Immigration policy must be fair, consistent, legal, and sustainable. That is why we are also taking the fight to illegal migration. Our plan to stop the boats is working.
So with the last point, he spoke about the student visa one that they have done, that, you know, as students can no longer bring dependents unless you're coming to the PhD, blah, blah, blah. And then also they are stopping the boats. Those that are coming illegally with boats, they are stopping that as well. Those ones are okay. I mean, yeah. And they believe that all these things that they are doing is likely going to reduce migration by 300,000. Okay, because apparently when they did their statistics, they did all their calculations. Apparently, the year 2022, obviously they couldn't have calculated for 2023 because we are still in 2023. So apparently in 2022, right, the number of people that came to the UK and the number of people that exited, right, when they subtract the number of people that went back or the number of people that entered, it looks like 745,000 people are still in the UK, and this is close to 1 million, so they are worried. And I understand they are worried in a way, because I remember that there was a time in Ghana, when I was in Ghana, where the city that I was in, Kumasi, it looked like Chinese people were taking over. And I remember how angry some Ghanaians were that it looked like the Chinese people are taking over. There's a place in Kumasi where it's just Chinese restaurants, Chinese buildings, Chinese hotels, Chinese companies, like, and people were angry that they are coming to take our jobs, they're coming to do galamsey. So understand, when people feel threatened when it's like they're becoming, it looks like they're becoming minority in their own place. I'm not saying that that's what's happening, but I understand why they are worried, okay? Because it looks like so many people are coming, but they should know that we are not coming here illegally. And then when we come, we are doing jobs. We are coming, we are working. How will we survive if we are not working? Because already you've told us we can't access public funds. So we are working. So if we are working, that means we are needed. You see? And there was a video as well, I think Channel 4 as well, where people were saying that the UK is heavily reliant on foreign care workers. And the locals don't understand. They said their care system was already working fine. So why is it that suddenly the locals don't want to do the job? And then the presenter was asking that, why don't they just pay the locals much higher so the locals will do it? And I like the answer the lady gave. Listen to it.
% of the staff at Hartwood House are international.
Can this industry work or cope without staff from abroad?
No, absolutely not. No, no, I'm categoric about that. Absolutely, it cannot. It's not about money for local staff. They just don't want to do this sort of work.
There are people who would just say, look, if you paid local staff more, then they'd happily work here.
No, they wouldn't.
Why not?
Because it's not about the money. You can't do this sort of work if you're not the right sort of person. So paying people more actually isn't the answer. If you pay people more, you attract the wrong sort of people. It's people that think, well, I need to earn a little bit more money. I can earn, if I work at Asda, I can earn this, but if I work in care, I can earn a little bit more. But they're not minded for this sort of work.
So we are here for a reason, because we can do the job and we do it with passion, okay? And we are here because of that. And so you shouldn't feel threatened. In fact, they made nursing school so easily accessible or to be admitted into in the UK now for the locals, but they are still not going. They still don't want it. They'd rather do YouTube, TikTok, be influencers, go into property, do business, other things, but not nursing. It's too stressful, or not care work. So the last 2 points, another thing that he mentioned is that people who are now living in the UK, including British citizens, would now be allowed to sponsor family members to move to the UK only if the person living in the UK earned 38,700 up to from the 18,600 that it is currently. Okay, so it looks like now at the moment, if you want to bring family members to the UK on a family visa, you should be earning at least 18,600, right? But now they're increasing it to 38,700 per year. So even if you're a nurse like me, you can't even bring family members to the UK because I earn about 35,000 a year. So that means I cannot bring my family on a family visa even if I'm a British citizen, all to reduce net migration. And they call this the biggest clampdown on legal migration ever. All I want to say is that for care workers, for nurses, including nurses, doctors, whatever, those who are yet to come to the UK, this is a big blow. This is very bad, terrible news, okay? I will not say stop the process. Keep going. Still do the process because, as you all know, usually the UK's migration is a bit easier with other compared to other countries. Like if you're a nurse, coming here is a bit easier than going to the US. The US can take you about 2 years, and you don't even have an NCLEX testing center in most countries. So I would say keep going. Just come, okay? Come to the UK, and then if this rule indeed goes through, or if these recommendations indeed go through, and you're not able to bring your dependents, when you step foot here, start preparing to go to Australia, start preparing to go to Canada, start preparing to go to the US, because we cannot survive without our family. I cannot. My husband and my son were in Ghana for a few weeks. I was not myself for a while. Not to talk of being here for 5 years. For what? For what? For what? It's not going to happen. We will leave. We will leave. And for those who are here already, who, let's say, are dating, they're probably waiting for a bit of time to go bring their families, and now suddenly, boom. They will also leave. Those who are here already will leave, and those who are yet to come will probably not come. Even if they come, they're only going to use this place as a stepping stone, as it's being done already. I mean, tell us they're going to check DNA to prove that they are really family members. But to cut, really? Is that the best solution? Do you know what dividing families can bring? Anyways, enough of that talk. So yeah, guys, keep going. Do the process. Come. Just use as a stepping stone. And then I have so many videos on how to migrate to different countries. Okay, Australia, Canada. I have so many videos on my channel. Take your time and go through all of them. I mean, and if you are here already and you've not brought your kids are still with your mother back home, this is the time to apply for them, because apparently all these rules are coming into effect spring of next year. And when they say spring, they mean from May, between March and May. Okay, that is the spring period. Yeah, so spring is between March and May. So March and May, we don't even know when. They could say it starts from 1st of March, and they can say boom. Okay, so if you're here already, that's what I'm going to say. If you're here already and your family is back home, okay, please hurry up and go for them. Start looking for a place to and bring them, your husband and bring them, okay? Even if they'll go back later, bring them, let them get their BRPs, okay? Please. Thank you very much. All the best to the government.